This crowd of thousands of people is eagerly awaiting the next act at Northern Europe's largest music festival. They're not waiting for a band. They're waiting to see NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden.
Data collection and user surveillance, how would you reckon we get rid of it?
We've got to raise awareness. We have to talk. But we have to also be skeptical of the fact that national security threats, as they like to call them, are just about terrorism. Because they're not. Most famously demonstrated by Dr. Martin Luther King. The day after he gave his most famous speech, his I Have a Dream speech, the FBI created a classified memo that declared him the #1 national security threat facing our nation. They consider him someone who injected instability into our political systems. And you know what? They were right. But free and open societies benefit from that instability, because what that instability is actually called is progress. Loving the people that you choose to love. Something as basic as that has been against the law all too frequently. Sometimes the only moral decision is to break the law. And if we... It's pretty popular with you guys. This is normally quite a controversial point, I have to say.
This is the largest crowd that Snowden has ever addressed. We just spent 2 days trying to piss off as many people as we could so they would show up. We call that anger marketing.
We're about to start putting up these fake signs about the festival's new data policy. People are going to be given the impression that this year Roskilde is collecting their text messages, monitoring all their internet activity, and even recording their phone calls. Of course, the festival isn't actually doing this.
But governments are. Every border you cross, every purchase you make, every call you dial is touched by a system whose reach is unlimited, but whose safeguards are not.
The gates are about to open and 100,000 people are going to flood in.
Let's see how they react to the festival's new surveillance policies.
Someone put up the signs on, I think it was actually on Twitter or Instagram to begin with. It went on to Facebook. Dialogue started there. The medias are always looking into our social media, picking up the arguments and stuff from there. People here are not, they're not used to this either. It's a group of volunteers sitting here, and this just landed at their tables as well.
We're getting some very negative press on this as well. So my suggestion would be that we meet up with at least a handful of these people to explain.
So we've set up a feedback booth where people can complain. The problem is they're going to be complaining to Sean Devlin, who is a comedian and not actually part of the staff here.
You have the guards identify the people who look like terrorists on the way in, and then you give them like a special wristband or something, or maybe we write like T on their hand.
I mean, that wouldn't be a thing that if there wasn't guards over there who was like, okay, that guy's white, that guy's black, okay, maybe he's a terrorist. There's a possibility that you just missed a terrorist.
There is no single race or religion that's involved in terrorist incidents. Now, people might focus on the threat of Islamic extremism, but there are extremists from every religion. In fact, in the United States, the worst single terrorist bombing that ever occurred was the Oklahoma City bombing, which was 2 white guys driving a van.
Well, if we know what you look up online, then we can know if you're a terrorist.
So if I look up nitroglycerin, I'm a terrorist.
Is that something for a bomb?
It's called trinitro toluene, TNT.
What's your name?
A computer can't tell the difference between someone who's saying they want to bomb the White House and someone who thinks that last song was the bomb.
Clearly, Ed had much better answers than we did. So we wanted him to speak to people directly.
We've got a great idea. Why don't you come to this awesome festival and give a talk here?
I'd love to, guys. That would be great, but that's going to be a little bit difficult.
You don't like the festival lineup?
There's some pretty good bands here this year.
There's the whole life in prison thing, U.S. government chasing me around the world, big international manhunt. Remember that?
Ooh, right. Yeah. So we did the next best thing. We found an actor who looked a bit like Snowden, and we gave him a little makeover.
Hi, I'm Edward Snowden.
Please welcome the most wanted man in the entire world, Edward Snowden.
This year, Roskilde has instituted a new data policy. If a high school dropout like me could walk out of a U.S. military facility with a treasure trove of information, how lucky do you think your information is in the hands of this music festival? Let's find out. I'm going to hack into the mainframe of the Roskilde Fest. This should only take me a few minutes. It's this one. Sorry. Oh, caps lock. Caps lock's on. Or off. Now it's off. It's off, right? Nope, I hit it twice. Okay, off. And here we go. It's what? Okay, I've got the wheel. I've got the little rainbow wheel. You know what that? Okay. What does that wheel mean anyway? Do you know what the little pin? Is it a pinwheel or is it a beach ball? I liked it back when we used to have just an hourglass. At least you knew it was time. And maybe that's anyway. Come on, cancel.
Actually, we are actually investigative reporters, and we have a major announcement. We've sniffed the routers, and we found that all of this is actually false. It's not true, and I'm very sorry, Mr. Snowden, that this project has misled you.
May I actually have something to admit too. I'm not Edward Snowden. My name is David Neal. I'm an actor from Los Angeles.
Okay.
Thank you for that apology, Mr. Snowden. And we have an apology too. We're not actually a confession. We're not actually investigative journalists. We're actually a group called the Yes Men. We do hoaxes, and in fact, we hired you, Mr. Snowden, to do this.
That's right.
And
right. Now, some of you seem like you're pretty worked up about it. Does it make you frustrated? He is. He's angry. He's pissed about this.
Please don't kick my ass. Please don't find me.
The anger marketing had worked. Now it was time to give people what they wanted. We harnessed the power of the internet and connected people directly to the real Edward Snowden.
Arguing that you don't care about privacy because you've got nothing to hide is no different than saying you don't care about free speech because you have nothing to say.
I wanted to ask, if the US government, they catch you, how long time are you going to prison?
If you're 10, the minimum sentence that they're threatening right now is 3 charges, each 10 years apiece. So I would spend in prison basically 3 times the length that you've been alive today if they didn't add any other charges. But the government in the United States, they've said that for every document, every news story that these journalists have published, that's another 10 years. So it's very likely that I would be in jail for longer than you will be alive, no matter how long you live.
Okay, he had one other question.
How old are you?
I just turned 33.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Edward. Happy birthday to you.
Everyone, thank you. Really. You guys staying with me on my personal case, again, is overwhelming, but this is not about me. This is about us. What matters is the kind of world that you guys build starting today.
Oh, damn. Oh, that's why caps lock was on. Caps lock is off. Is it off? The light off means it's off. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting one of the circle thing. That's why Adobe wants to install. I never even had an account with them. It's the usual password. Eddie Snowballs. Oh.